Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Danks with Elizabeth Lane, microphone on mute, but she's there. Real Bayes, and we're gonna have a great show for you. How you doing, both of you?
Ladies first.
Hey guys, good to be here. Do you guys by any chance get an echo there?
An echo?
No,
I'm getting an
I don't
echo.
have one.
no, we all got headphones on. But welcome back, Danksters and Dankettes. It is your boy Danks here again with Elizabeth Lane and Real Bayes, and this is round 2 of the Paramount Not So Tactical. You know, we're going to talk some about things that we've uncovered, things that, you know, might be of discrepancies, some contradictions. We're not here to smear anybody. We're not here to make things up, okay? Last week, Elizabeth Lane came on and answered a lot of the personal attacks that he threw at her. One being Russian propaganda smear, you know, fake credential nonsense, aged AI photos, you know, all of these things she addressed. Look, she's here to address again whatever she feels, but we're not necessarily talking about Elizabeth today. You know, today we're going to go past the personal stuff, more into the work stuff, because that's how I operate. You know, I like receipts. I like to show what has been discussed and what could perhaps maybe not, you know, match up to what we're seeing today, you know, shifting stories, and the moments that other people caught as well. And it's all on the record. So here's what this is. This is a covering of publicly posted information, publicly posted videos, clips, live streams, leaked audio, whatever that's already circulating, and a documented timeline of disputes that critics across YouTube, X, and everywhere else has raised. So we're just reacting to what's out there. Here's what this is not. This is not a verdict of any kind. We're not judges or anything like that. She might, Elizabeth has her law degree, but I certainly don't. But we are just here to show what's on the record. Let you decide. And everything we do does trace back to something original that was already circulating. Another thing, we're going to be covering other things as well, right? Other more pertinent information. But you might be surprised that Mr. Gary Melton and his team might be, I don't know. There might be something there. I haven't looked too deeply, which wasn't that necessary to go that deep. But, maybe there's things, but I don't think we're going to get into that today. I don't really feel like that. But anyways, what's up, Elizabeth or Bayes? You got anything to say before we... You're on mute, by the way, Elizabeth.
I muted myself, guys, so that you wouldn't hear the echo, but then I realized what the issue was. So hopefully, guys in the chat, can you let us know if my audio is good?
Yeah, you sound great over here.
Okay. So, well, I mean, I dived deep on Gary and Gary's woman, who I'm talking about, Jen, the producer. So Jen, the producer, who's not really a producer, has a very interesting life in the past. And we were thinking maybe we do another, like a real episode on her. That depends on them, by the way. So Gary, in his video, when he completely bullshitted people about me and everything that he said was literal bullshit, every single thing, like made up bullshit, except for maybe like the fact that I'm a journalist and that, I know Tucker Carlson or something. That was the only thing that he got it right? So we did a successful debunking in the last episode, guys, which I highly recommend you see. But he said something else in that episode. He says, you know what? I'm a man's man, which he's not. But he said, I always apologize when I get something wrong. Did you hear him apologize anytime soon? Like, did you hear him yesterday? No, right?
I think it's interesting that he just stopped talking completely. His page was full of you, and then he just went silent.
He better, because as soon as... Here's how I understand this, thanks. I'm not going to take anyone's credentials or anybody because I simply don't care about them. See, this Gary's deep dive took like hours of my day with actual professionals on the phone. And I'm like, world is falling apart and I'm diving deep in the past of this fucking frog. Like, are you kidding me? Like some unimportant Gary and Jan that I shouldn't give a red says about. And this is just what happens when I should be covering politics, and when these like frogs jump out, these paid propagandist frogs jump out and do some hit piece or something that's not even true. At least do a hit piece that's actually true. Like find something that I've done. I don't know. Maybe I'm a sexual maniac. Maybe I raped people or something. Find real damage, you effing moron, and then we can talk. But the truth is, I always said this. I've got no skeletons in my closet. This is why I'm always loud. And I'm from Lara Loomer to Blake Neff. I challenged every single person to come and sit with me. All of them ran, including Gary. So what I'm waiting from Gary is an apology. And once by the way, he's totally watching this. You have no idea. Like he's totally watching this because he's scared. So when he apologizes that he lied about my credentials, he got my career wrong, how long I've been in this business. Of course, he called me a Russian propagandist. That will be the biggest apology by the time we're done. But let me explain something here, guys. Very, very simple thing. So Gary and people like Gary and Jen, you know what I mean? Lara, all these people, they keep going about Candice is a Russian paid propagandist, Qatar paid propagandist, Tucker is Qatar paid, Elizabeth is a Russian agent, tried here to cause chaos in the United States. All this shit, guys. You know how easy it is to actually end all of this? It's the easiest effing thing on earth. Excuse my language today. So here's what Gary needs to do. Gary needs to pick up the phone and call the FBI. So here, if I was convinced that someone like an agent of some sorts of another country was operating on the ground in the US, guess who deals with that? It's FBI's counterintelligence unit, which I have many friends in, by the way. So Gary can just simply pick up the phone and call the FBI and say, you know what? I'm 100% convinced that this woman is a Russian agent. You should investigate them. But he knows once he does that, FBI is going to ask a ton of fucking questions because FBI has this very interesting game when they turn the things around and they will investigate who you are first and why are you making accusations and can you prove those accusations, what do you actually have, all of this. Gary doesn't want to do that for a reason, guys, right? But here's something I want to talk to Gary about. So since he came after me and wanted to attack me, well, this Russian agent here that he calls Russian agent went ahead and did what needs to be done. Can you read?
What is?
Can you read?
I can't see it. Let me see.
Send the information to a friend of mine at the FBI. So I guess, how do you explain that? I guess Russian agent sends information to the FBI to investigate what's going on behind Gary and Jen, right? See, that's as simple as that, guys.
Hold on. So let me get this right. So you contacted someone. You have a explain. So you have an FBI connect to reach out about Gary.
A friend of mine is worked for the FBI for the longest time, and he has access to all of the databases, everything. So I was like, you know what? This is how we're going to do this. Here's the information of these people. They are attacking American journalists, and they are absolutely lying about everything. So you guys might want to look into these people because they are attacking patriots. So, and they are changing the narrative, flipping the narrative over as if we are causing disruption. We are liars. We are fake people. We are... Okay, great. Well, let's figure it out, shall we? It's very simple, guys. All you have to do is call up the FBI because they are the ones. When you're investigating a foreign agent on the soil, it's not the CIA, it's not other, it's the FBI that investigates that. So, hey, Gary, call up FBI. Let's see what's gonna happen. So, oh, by the way, I have Kash Patel's number too. If you would like, I can actually, guys, introduce you guys. Here's Kash. I'm not going to show his number, obviously, but here's Kash Patel. I don't know if you can see it. So I can give Kash's number to you so you can go directly to the FBI, dear Gary. Since you're claiming that Candice is paid by Russians and now somehow is meeting his handler in Russia, guys. She's there to meet her handler. So hopefully, I don't know when, but hopefully I'll go back to Russia to see my handler.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
I was just going to say there's a couple, there's a lot of, if you want to see, this is the thing is that he is talking about division or making things up, whatever he's saying that basically is trying to lend credence to someone like maybe Elizabeth and the Candy cult, they're now calling it.
Of course.
But this is the thing. If how are we the ones when we're not actually trying to debunk everybody doing research? Instead, we're trying to actually find the investigation, actually do a proper investigation where we're looking into everything and everyone around the circumstances, right? You've got the don't share image of the text or whatever he shared from Andrew Colvett, the alibi photo that he pushed for months or whatever, the Mitch Snow where he vets him, no vetting, all of this, the credential stuff, estranged son gotcha interview, the ballistics and scene work that, Bayes is going to show us. He's got a video clip of him and he lied about it yesterday that he didn't. There's a lot of very strange patterns, right, that have been revealed over time. And that's the thing with time is you show your sloppiness or you show your changes over time, which we all change, but this is a little dramatic of a shift. Sorry, Bayes,
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to chime in before we get started. First off, I just want to say, I kind of threw myself in this. I don't have there's no, it's rarely personal either. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of gaslighting that goes on. There are a lot of these people that, create content and try to become these sources of news and information that clearly have an agenda. And I was not that familiar with Gary. I didn't even know who he was until the Charlie Kirk assassination. I wasn't even that familiar with Elizabeth until very recently. But I will say this, yesterday was the first time that I really like buckled down and, started doing my own research, because I'm like, okay, like Saturday, he was talking bad about Elizabeth, did that whole smear live. I knew she was friends with Danks. So right away, it's like Elizabeth wants to come on. We'll share the platform. We'll have her back. Friend of a friend. But then after that, I started talking to Elizabeth more, and getting to know her better. And I'm like, you know what? Let me watch some of Gary's content and see what type of person he is, And I'll tell you guys, I was very surprised. I was very surprised because if you look back in the early days of his channels, he started around 2021. He was very objective. He came off very anti-establishment. And, these are some of the clips that I'm going to show. It shows him being critical of the government, critical of the DOJ, the FBI. In the past, whether you're talking about JFK or, the E-files or January 6th, this guy did not trust the FBI at all. He didn't trust the CIA. He had no questioning. He had no problem questioning the narratives then. And then even early on, when Charlie Kirk was first assassinated, he had questions. He said if he was shot in the neck, there should have been an exit wound, which is, we pulled up a clip. Somebody sent Danks the link on Saturday night of him referring to like shooting a pig bone and saying like, look, like, it's close enough. There should have been an exit wound. Last night, Gary was doing a live and he had somebody on with him. They were talking about the ballistics, and I sent him a super chat. I should have got that clip. I was going to play it a little later. I'll find it in a minute. But long story short, I sent him a super chat asking him about that clip, and he brushed it off. He said it wasn't true, which I think is really foolish. So my question is, what changed? What changed? Because there is a clear pattern for at least 4 years of him operating in one way. And then all of a sudden, he does a complete 180, and he's like the number one shill for the establishment. And if you look at the timeline, I think what changed was those DOD contracts that he got. Because once he got that $190,000 in DOD contracts, all of a sudden he went from being this objective analyst that doesn't trust the system, anti-establishment, to Erica Kirk's bitch and TPUSA's mascot.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to sit here and make the accusation that he was directly paid off, but he clearly knows where his bread is buttered. And I think that, whether or not he was directly paid off and that is the real operation, that he's being paid to spread the misinformation and go from being an objective analyzer to like an attack dog on Candace Owens. Or maybe he just happened to get that contract anyway. And he does, like I said, he knows where his bread is buttered. He doesn't want to mess it up. He's hoping for more business in the future. So he's pushing the agenda on his own. But in my personal opinion, it has to be one or the other.
Yeah. Like you, I never really knew much about him. I always saw him getting trolled from other people for things that he's done or said allegedly, so I've never. And he seems like a nice enough guy, to be honest with you. He looks like a nice enough guy, especially after seeing the clip with his family and stuff back before all this happened, the Charlie Kirk assassination. So clearly, obviously, something's changed. But I will say, like, this is not personal for me, but it obviously seems to be for Elizabeth because of just this, I would say, very frivolous attack by making a whole live stream about somebody when you could have just done it. I proved it. I did a Google search, and the first sentence said that she had been in the business for 13 years.
Dude, they didn't
at a high level.
They didn't even check out any of my work for like Unified or for my previous show D2K. Never bothered to check it out, like at all. Like because he was so butthurt about me calling him a C word and other things which he deserved. You don't go out and trash somebody and call them Russian propagandists, when you don't know them. You just don't do that. So he did that, and I called him a C word, because when you come at me personally and call me things like that, which is a very big deal for a journalist, you're gonna get a C word. That's just how it happens, and that's the least of things he should be worried about, right? So anyway, yeah, I think Gary is boring, to be honest. Like I'm so sick of talking about this guy. And like I said, there's so many things going on in the world, guys, that we should be covering in the politics. And this effing Gary is taking my time away from work. Like what? To actually dive into like who these guys. But I found something very interesting with Jen. So here's the thing here.
And who's Jen?
Really, Jen, the producer. So the woman behind the Gary's like entire brains, I guess, who supposedly did the research. So with Jen, here's my take on Jen. I have a lot of things that we have not said. Some of you already have seen with Jen. So they are under my mercy right now. The question is, should I ruin Jen's life or not? And I'm not the guy, I'm not the person who comes out and just randomly ruins other people's lives, because that's not my thing. But I'm also somebody who really does not back off when someone attacks her. It's just in my nature. I come from a Caucasian mountains country of Georgia. We get something tweaks in our heads. When someone attacks us, something tweaks and there is no coming back from it. Okay. So
This
now
is Jen, the producer here. She's always got a avatar up.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever shown, but she's on her LinkedIn as well. Shows that it just says Paramount Tactical Show or something.
Yeah.
So
2026 apparently. So
when did she join that?
I'll talk about 2026. I'll talk about her just a little bit because I wanted to do whole another episode just on Jen, just because of so much shit I got on her. So here's what I'm gonna say. I think they realized their mistake. They backed off really quick, but I still haven't gotten an apology. So I'm gonna sit on all of this information and wait for them to make another even tiny move. And
so you're saying that you don't really like just want like to go at it, that if they were to take some of their statements back, discrediting you, then you'd be willing to back off too?
No, I mean, I'm not gonna back off, but I just don't care about them. So here's what's gonna happen. They can apologize and we can move on, or they can keep coming at me with a text and then whole hell's gonna break loose. And that's a promise. And everyone who knows me personally in the chat or you guys, you know I always keep my promises. Always. So that's all I have to say. Jen has an interesting past, and I would not waste my time on discussing it in another effing show. But it's up to them, really. It's not up to me anymore. It's up to them now. So
how would you guys like to play some of these clips that I found? I have a bunch of them, but they're short segments. And then we could give people an idea of what I was talking about earlier. Because like I said, if I'd have found his channel a couple of years back and watched episodes of this, I'd have been a fan. This would be somebody that I'd be wanting to work with. And there is a very, very clear pivot in his energy, in the way that he operates, in the way that he thinks, and the way that he spreads information and gives his takes. But let's just start getting right to it. Now, this is back March 8th, 2023, talking about January 6th and manipulation of media.
Ballistic tables and the other pertinent information over to our Patreon. It's there for free. You can download it. You can check all this stuff out. So anyways, I think you guys will find that useful, and especially if you guys are planning to come.
What, did I go too far? Hold on. Might have been the wrong link. Sorry, guys.
Summer, we are now.
It's not even spring yet.
We are now done with
wrestling.
We're now done with wrestling. So she can actually join us again, which I'm glad to have her back.
Wait, what happened to
what I want to talk about more than anything. I also want us to understand and identify what that means, the risks that are involved with that, and how that is used against us much more effectively. The media is used against the right much more effectively than the left. And by the right, I would say, again, people that believe in gun rights, that are libertarian in nature and things like that. All right.
So he's talking about gun right. Like, what is it that you're trying to show here? Did you see it in that clip, or you're still looking for it?
No. I think I clicked the first because I had a bunch of these here. I think those. Hold on.
I think.
What are you trying to hold on before? What set the stage? So what are you trying to show exactly?
It was the wrong. I was going by the timestamps.
Don't worry about it. You'll find it. But explain what you're.
No. I have it. I just clicked the wrong one. All right. So this one is him talking about basically not trusting the government and government cover-ups. This is with JFK.
The Trump administration accountable for this. It's not entirely their fault. I mean, again, what we have is the CIA that's had these files, CIA, FBI, and NSA, and whoever else is, has information available. But they've had, they've had 60 years to go through this and take out anything that is important. And I think all of these files have been well scrubbed, and there's really nothing left. It does, and Ann says this is exactly right. Nothing really on the JFK. It just shows how corrupt the CIA is. I don't know. I feel, when we were first talking about releasing this, going the first Trump administration, and looking back now, I feel pretty naive that I thought we were going to get any sort of revelations out of this. And so far, and one of the things that will tell you that we're being lied to is the fact that we have a lot of these rumors and information coming out where Mike Pompeo was telling Trump, hey, you can't release this for whatever reason. And then Trump came back and said, hey, you know what? If you knew what I knew, you wouldn't want these released either. Well, there's nothing in there that I've seen so far that anyone's reported on that has indicated anything like that. So again, I think we're being lied to by the government. I think the CIA has scrubbed those files long ago. And I do think that ultimately, the Trump administration is complicit in that. And I think that's just.
Oh, interesting.
There you go. Like, literally agree with everything. I agree with everything he says here. You know why? Because when people make sense, we can agree. When people are actually making sense about whatever topics, great. I don't have to like him, and he doesn't have to like me, but he's making sense. I've been on JFK's case like 6 years, guys. I investigated JFK's case for 6 years. So yeah, I agree with him. So,
that's what I said. I was surprised when I watch all of his content that he made before he got those DOD contracts. I agree with him a lot. He
right.
seems like a pretty reliable source of information. But then, and here, let's go. This
and
is
then he
another
just all of a sudden becomes this like absolutely crazy person that spews like propaganda and lies. Like, how did that happen? I wonder. And I think we also have the answer to that. But hey. Let's go.
And you know what else I find fascinating? That he got those DOD contracts the same week that those FARA documents were made with that Danks covered about Bradley Pascal becoming an Israeli agent.
Really?
Yes, the same week.
I still haven't seen this stuff that people are talking about, the DOD contracts. I'd like to see that.
He got the DOD contracts like 10, was it... Bayes, was it like, remind me again, 10 days after, right? 10 or 14 days after Charlie died?
Yeah, he got it at the end of September. I think it was the
20th. He got paid for it or something like that. Yeah, I have to look at. I have the files here, but I have to look at them.
I'm big on patterns.
Sorry, what was it?
I was just gonna say I'm very big on patterns and breaks in patterns, and when there's money and death involved in those breaks in patterns, it needs to be closely analyzed.
Right. And some interesting producers, right?
It's like when you take a polygraph test, right? Yeah. They don't just ask you about the lies first. They ask you questions that that you're going to be honest with to create a baseline. Now, with this guy, Gary, we got 4 or 5 years of content from him where we have a pretty good baseline. And there is a massive break in the pattern after he gets those contracts.
Right.
It's undeniable. I ran a couple dozen transcripts through AI, and it comes back like a greater than 99% probability. Not that he got paid off per se. It's not saying that 99% probability that he was paid off, but a 99% probability that once he got paid, he changed. And there is a difference there that needs to be acknowledged.
So it could be many other things too, just because I've done a little bit of a deep dive on these guys. So it could be like a little bit other things as well. But here's what I have to say about all of this. A man that has a wife and makes sense for like the longest time with his podcast or whatever, all of a sudden becomes obsessed with Candace Owens. I mean, he's obsessed. He's like mentally ill obsessed. Who does that? Guess what? I do not like Ruben. Okay, Ruben Report. You probably know who I'm talking about. I do not like a lot of people. Am I obsessed with him? Am I resharing his stuff? I don't even look at the guy. Once I discovered, okay, this guy is a liar. Just now he lied about, he said Anna Kasparian was sexually assaulted by this guy Hassan or something like that. And I was like, what is he talking about? Why is he talking for me? That never happened. So obvious liar, right? So when I know that these people lie, I don't even check their wall. I don't understand what is this obsession with Candace Owens. Okay, so
I want to
let's
show you something actually. And I
yeah.
think this is very interesting because this falls into what I found recently. So he posted, this is pinned on May 10th. So undeniable proof that Candace lied. She didn't just get it wrong. She knowingly lied to her audience, treating them like idiots. Guess who he tagged? You know who this is? The
Oh
I
yeah.
know,
Dylan
I know
Harmeet
exactly
Law
who that
Group.
is.
Oh
This
yeah.
is the law group that's working for a registered foreign agent that is doing geofencing and targeting churches across
Oh
the
yes.
country
Oh
called
yes.
Show Faith by Works. Also, Harmeet Dillon is basically a political hit lawyer who works on behalf of Trump and anybody in the RNC that's on the inside of this. Is not allegation. This is not me guessing. I know for a fact that Harmeet Dillon Law Group, the Dillon Law Group that she started and that her brother-in-law or brother now runs because she's in office, right? So she can't. So but she's still getting money off of this company using her political affiliations to go after individual people like Candace Owens on behalf of the Brian Harpole lawsuit.
Right.
And not only that, Ben Shapiro's
I was about to say, don't forget.
sister's husband is actually on the lawsuit. So they're all working together, you see? And it's very telling of someone to tag a law group. What are you trying to do, Gary? You're trying to see who's creating division. Okay. This is what I'm trying to show. Who actually is creating division? When you create slander and you're saying she's 100% lying, and then you tag a political hit lawyer, that is division. Okay. That is what I call division.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, guys, normal people who do their jobs, like, get up and actually do their jobs, they don't go after people that they don't like, hate, and all that. Okay, you hate Candace Owens and you think she's a liar. Okay, do something substantive and actually investigate or do the podcast that matters. Like this obsession is unreal unless it's paid. So now we are making sense. Now, if someone is paid to specifically attack somebody, which we know that is a real thing now, like we already exposed the multiple groups being paid for it, now it makes sense. And a Green Beret that hides behind his military status and takes money, if he is for specifically this, which we will know very soon, then, I mean, all I have to say is fucking cunt.
I mean, here's just proof of like his obsession, right? I mean,
but is it
post
an
after
obsession
post,
or is it an assignment? That's the question.
well, that's the thing is I can't say for sure if it's an assignment, but it definitely doesn't feel authentic when you scroll through it. Spaces, Candace going to Russia, Candace in Russia. Look at it. I mean, reposting other people's stuff on Candace. Candace is rubbing shoulders with Alexander Dugin.
So go up that Rita troll, like that girl. So when I blocked all the trolls, I left her just because she's such a she's like the one that you just had the picture of Candace Owens in Moscow. That one. Go up. That girl, the one that reposted that picture. See that Brita or whatever, no soup knowledge or something.
Oh yeah. No soup for knowledge.
So I blocked the trolls who I actually knew were paid propagandists and trolls, but I left her because she's such an amoeba. Like she's so stupid that I'm actually entertained. So I love to see her in my comments. Like I'm entertained, and she's not one of those weird trolls that like a super insultive, or she's actually nice. She's a nice troll. So I was like, I'm going to allow you to constantly be here because it makes me, smile. So, but yes, it's a coordinated campaign, no doubt about it. And we will be on this. I'm not going to waste time on Gary. Like I said, my audience is so tired of him. Like people on X started writing me, we don't follow this guy. Please stop sharing him. We fucking hate him. So I'm like, I get it. I'm not going to, do more episodes on Gary, but I'm certainly going to sit on the information I have and watch if I get the apology or not. And then we can talk more.
Thanks. Why don't you pull me up? I got a couple more clips here from when he was covering the files. It just adds more context.
So I don't know
Yeah.
whether there's anything funny going on there, but
No, I think
We
there
have
definitely
something.
is. I think we have a New York bureau or a New York office of the FBI that is clearly, completely obfuscating information and trying to keep information away from the Department of Justice. I think this is what we continue to see all throughout, Trump's first administration. That's what we have here now is another DOJ that or element of the DOJ, the FBI specifically, that is full of antagonists and people trying to thwart the efforts of the president, the duly elected president of the United States. And that's the have those ever been found? Have they been looked at? The fact is we don't know. And that's why this whole thing has turned into a conspiracy. And rightfully so, because, there's clearly, there's clearly bad information. We get partial information to get the buzz out on the street and to fill headlines. There's been plenty of headlines in every freaking news agency, print or online about this, but we've never seen any hard evidence on any of it.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
you wanna
you're
stop-
showing that he's contradicting himself from
the
past
time.
to present.
Yes,
that what you're saying?
that second video shows a big contradiction because he says that with good reason when talking about the files that people think that it's a conspiracy theory because they're not getting the information. There's a lot of information being withheld. There's a lot of misinformation being spread. But then when it comes to the Charlie Kirk case, he doesn't bring the same energy. Because we've gotten a lot of misinformation from the DOJ, from Erica Kirk, from Turning Point USA. And he never talks about that. He's never confronting Erica Kirk on the many lies that she gets caught in. He's constantly doing damage control and running cover for them.
And dude, the guy who had it right for so long and questions GFK and all this stuff, all of a sudden doesn't question any Israeli involvement anywhere. Like the guy who has good instincts when it gets to conspiracy, all of a sudden has no problem. Not one he mentioned Israeli influence in this country. Not one. What do they have on him? You know what I mean? Like not one.
He does mention it when it comes to the files.
Right? But that is before. That is before the shift. So I think we should play this video Danks made because some of my followers, because I don't devote my wall to Gary as much as he likes to talk about other people's followers. He has much less followers on almost every platform except for YouTube. Not sure how he got 200 and something, but his views are much lower. I'm not gonna give Gary any stage here to go and acquire more audience for bullshit. So, but I want to play this video, the first one that's in the file here.
Is it this one?
How
Yeah.
incompetent you have to be.
Oh,
Just
I
so
see.
that my
Oh, okay,
followers
okay.
know what happened.
Yeah.
Some of my followers do not even know because we did live in your show, guys. So let's do
Yeah.
that.
This one's pretty long. So you want to do like the intro and then you want to tell me where or?
Yeah. So you could do maybe like a faster version. Can you do it faster? So because it's
do you want the one from your page? If the one that you
is
made,
from
the
my
20?
page. That is from my page.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So give me 1 second. What I'll do is I'll pull it up from here so I can have
Perfect.
more control. Somebody mentioned into the chat, I want to recognize Girl Friday Tuesday. Where's she at? She said this right here. Are we not allowed to question or think it's weird that she went to Russia? I mean, especially since TPUSA was pretty much a carbon copy of the Internet Research Agency model with the troll farms, etc. I think it's fine to question or wonder,
Okay,
but you could say that for anywhere.
Wait, hold on. Why they're only questioning? Everyone keeps talking about Candace going to Russia.
Why
but I'm
should we
pretty sure-
question this?
No, hold on. Let me
Let's
finish
one
this first.
person speak
Yeah.
at a time.
I'm pretty sure I heard Barron saying the other day that people that were involved with Trump's ballroom also went on that trip or are speaking at the same event.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's tell people what this is. Guys, this is one of the biggest economic forums. Like, it's Russia's Davos. You know how many people have been there? ton of European leaders have been there. Are they all Russian puppets? If someone invites me tomorrow, because like if I'm ever as important as Candace, I'm going, and I'm not even thinking 2 times, like I'm packing my bags and go, that's how important that forum is. So not only I don't question it, it's crazy to me that if she went to Paris, everyone's going to be like, oh.
Well, she went to Italy, remember?
Yeah,
And
and
everyone
like,
was saying, though, there was this big issue
that's
that all the
because of-
influencers are being invited by the priest or
Right,
whatever. It's
right. Like a Catholic
know,
church is like conspiring.
maybe
something.
there was, I don't know.
Yeah, like well, what's his name? Nick Fuentes was there. So Nick was like, oh my gosh, like go ahead and like convince these people that we are not together. But they were not together. They were completely on a different trip. It was obvious. And even if that, okay, so I travel all the time, and I've been in a ton of different countries. So like if she was meeting some Kremlin officials somewhere on a secret meeting, that's different. And by the way, you can't hide that shit. But she's not. She's going on an official forum, and she's going in a country that all of us admire. Russia is one of the best countries in the world when you take history in consideration. Russia has like richest history. Have you ever delved into Russian literature? And if you have not, then, I'm sorry, but you're not very bright, because people who don't read Dostoevsky, people who don't read Russian literature, I'm sorry, you're not at the level of people who do. That's just how it is. Don't take it as like something, as an offense or something.
To be fair, that this country, especially being in the United States, we've been fed information about Russia that largely dissuades any personal desire to look into Russian history. Mostly the more intellect, like even me, I have done some research into Russia and also what the event is right now. There's like 40,000 people in Russia right now that are, it's
Right.
called SPIEF, SPIEF. And largely though, to this account, to Girl Friday on Tuesday, Western figures are typically not there or not invited. So yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to question. I'm all about asking questions,
Guess what?
I
They
am
were
not
invited.
the client. I'm not the person to say, oh, she's a Russian propaganda artist and all of this stuff. Personally,
Danks,
but yeah, I think it's fine to ask any questions.
they were invited. This is what people are missing. You know that Olympics happened in Russia. Russia had like literally hosted Olympics before, and all these people were more than happy to go. When this shift started happening is right after Bush administration, when everything became a Russia problem. We had Russia gate. Oh my gosh, Russia has never been an enemy of the United States. Russia as an entity has never been an enemy of the United States. And I'm willing to argue that Soviets, like this idea that Soviet Union was the enemy and wanted to destroy America. No, Soviets never wanted to destroy America. Soviets saw America as a threat. And they saw the United States as a threat that could hurt them. And everyone that's reading history,
Elizabeth, you need to understand that in America, there is an inherited bias when it comes to Russia.
Absolutely.
Because if you grew up in school during the Cold War, you weren't learning the real history. You weren't learning about the Bolsheviks. You weren't learning that it was really the Soviets that were fighting the Nazis while the isolationists in America were doing business with them.
Exactly.
They had you doing drills, hiding under desks, thinking that Russia was going to kill you. So and then not to mention all the propaganda in the movies, if you've seen Rocky
And it's
IV,
still going on.
Yes. But that information, it's been drilled into our entire country's head.
Absolutely.
The same way that they're trying to drill it into
culture.
our head. Yes. Same way that they're trying to drill it into our heads and our culture, that our not so greatest ally is our greatest ally.
Exactly. And guys, this is not something new. What Gary and others are doing when they want to attack the most honest person like Candace and Tucker and similar people. This has been done before multiple times by the CIA. And for example, remember, guys, Perot, the third runner with, I believe it was his election during Bill Clinton. So he was the one who actually exposed it first, the smear campaign against him. I mean, guy was completely innocent compared to the people he was running with. And he came out and said, you know what? This was Bush's CIA's dirty tricks, and he actually had the receipts to prove it. So this is not the first time that the United States is going through this, like, cabal of propagandists. They're taking the nice people who are trying to wake people up. This is not the first time. So, and another thing that really pisses me off is just sit here and think. Tyler Robinson is sitting as a suspect. He has not been proven guilty. He should be presumed innocent until proven guilty. And every single one of them are already telling people, Tyler Robinson killed him. It's case. He's guilty. We're done. We're done. Really? You're better than the judge himself? Because I think judge would have a really serious problem hearing that. You're better than the jury. You're better than anyone. Like the investigators on the case. How do you know?
Well, taking a closer look at that, you have to realize that in the case of Gary Melton, you're talking about a person that's been spending years telling us not to trust the FBI, not to trust the DOJ. You can't really trust the courts. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to Tyler Robinson, he's guilty and you trust the process. You could trust the system. Look at the charging documents, and that's what I talk about with breaks in the pattern. Because when it comes to the JFK files, he's like, yeah, they were clearly scrubbed. There was clearly corruption. You can't really trust them. When it comes to the E-files, same thing. But all of a sudden, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the countless anomalies, you're not going to question anything. You're going to go by the charging documents. Like, has he even referenced the 911? Oh, no, he did. When referencing the 911 tapes, he's like, yeah, well, in the heat of the moment, people get things wrong. Like he has an excuse for everything that questions the narrative, and he's just doubling down in this pro TPUSA, pro Erica Kirk narrative.
Right.
I'm gonna pull up a comment that I wanted to show real quick, and then I'm gonna do a couple of super chats and memberships, and then we'll continue on. Damn, I lost it too. That sucks. Hold on. Let me find it because it was a really good one. I think it's important to address. Oh, here we go. See, this says it's not Candace Owens' fault that the U.S. economy is in the shitter because she went to Russia. That's where you're wrong. Apparently, the Republicans in the midterms, if they lose, it's all her fault. Apparently, because Trump is falling asleep during his meetings, that's her fault. Apparently, because I guess it might be her fault that Charlie got killed. I mean, we're at a point where they are literally suing her because Blake Bednar's, using him as reference, that she's creating radicals when he didn't even watch or know much of what she's doing, from how I understood, and he did his own thing. They're on a stretch to try to make people like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Joe Kent and people with American first values. They're trying to make them out to be the enemy. And
it's funny.
This is not okay.
It's funny that they use Blake Bednar's as an example of people that Candace is allegedly radicalizing, because Blake Bednar's is probably one of the only people that bashed Candace Owens more than Gary Melton in the past 6 months.
Right.
Absolutely. Thanks, Keats. Say thank you if you got memberships. Thank you to Jacqueline. Thank you for the super sticker. And Critter, $10. Can you do a tutorial on using Discord and Club Vatcha now that I got him our point to pass video? Or may have covered it. Yeah, I can do that soon. If you haven't joined Club Vatra, this is the members only clubhouse, if you will, for Danks, Bayes, and a variety of Jesse on Fires on there. So that's a great way to support as well by just going to clubvatra.com/Danksterintel. Yeah, I could do that for you. And then I'll read two more for the algo in the chat. Volume down at work. Thank you, Matt. Good to see you. The Unleavened Truth, $20. Thank you. Just did an audio analysis on the UVU Blake video. 100% proof the gunshot audio is fake. I think Gary was in on it early. He was the main ex-military guy trying to prove Tyler did it with his 140 yards offhand video. The Unleavened Truth. Did you put it on YouTube? I'll look at I'll take a look. Unleavened.
Send it to us in the DM us somewhere, either X or Instagram.
I see your account, so I'll take a look at it. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so I will say, like, before, it's been a lot of Gary. So I have her video, our video queued up, but I want to share, like, why this stuff can be so scary. And I'm not saying Gary is a propaganda artist that's working for Boston or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, like, when you see stuff like this, it's very concerning when we start seeing mass division that's
Right.
being conveyed from somebody like Gary, who has a military background and is openly reported taking income from directly the DOD.
Right.
And then right that time that he does that, his views change. So this is important. It's by James Lee, but I figured a video would be better than me reading an article. So
Also, I want to quickly, sorry, 1 second, quickly say, I see you guys in the chat. I love you too. We'll get to the chat at the end and maybe even somewhere in between, but I love you very much. Thank you.
yeah, we'll address chat as we go through. I'll try to, that way we're not here just reading supers at the end or reading chats at the end. So if you feel like you have something to say, you're more than welcome to join, actually contribute by super chat, or yeah, I guess in the comments as well. If we don't have super chats, we'll try to go through those as well. Yes, I'll put the link. Someone asked for the link. So it's clubvatra.com/danksterintel, CLUBVATRA.com. Okay.
They are trying to take over our country.
Congress quietly moves to integrate U.S. and Israeli militaries.
To put it bluntly, they want our military to be theirs, okay? The 2027 National Defense Authorization Act would, quote, all but fuse the two countries' armed forces together. And that is only one of a laundry list of items that Israel has taken to try to take over our country.
Quite a year for Israel. Buy TikTok and censor. Buy CBS and censor. Buy CNN and censor. Buy
influencers. Okay. We already know this is happening. Okay. This is, I have the actual receipts from the Foreign Agent Registration Act.gov website on americansfortransparency.org. We have proof that people are getting paid to spread pro-Boston propaganda and also anti-America First propaganda. This is a fact. It's 100% true. So, not saying that you are, Gary. All I'm saying is, when you see people sowing complete division while sprinkling in the attempt or the view of attempting to try to solve something, which we haven't seen anything of that nature, in my opinion. I don't watch Gary much, but this is concerning, okay? When you see money talked about and then actually paid to, and then a position switches, these are the patterns we're talking about.
influencers. Charlie Kirk gets killed. TPUSA becomes more Israel. Geofence churches. 1,000 pastors become Israel ambassadors. Replace MTG with pro-Israel. Replace Massey with pro-Israel.
Once again, it's Israel's world, and we are just living in it.
So
True, very true.
these are
And now
very important.
Tulsi Gabbard, like Israeli peak changes Tulsi Gabbard. Are you kidding me? Like, this country is not for Americans anymore. And if someone, like any influencer out there, takes money just to, well, for whatever reason, just to get rich or make more income, is it worth it, dude? Is it worth selling your country to Israel for money? Your kid is going to grow up in this country. And when he has a problem, and when he actually comes out and says, you know what, I cannot do a certain thing because Israel doesn't allow that anymore, what are you going to do? Because it's your kid's future that's on the line right now. Like, most of us are said and done. It's younger generation who's going to suffer more than anything because of these efforts. You know, it's terrible.
So this says here, why did Congress just move to integrate U.S. and Israeli militaries at a time when the American public is expressing unprecedented levels of distrust in the Israeli government? Congress just proposed tying the U.S. to the Israeli military more than ever before. So now, if we go back and we see what I was just talking about here, okay, with Paramount Tactical, there's something that needs to be said, okay? There's something that needs to be said, because when we look at a post like this, the woke right and the far left both hate our country just for different reasons. Oh, and the Jews, they both hate the Jews. You see, like,
Thanks.
you're
Pull me up
separating
real
left and
quick.
right, You're separating left and right. You're literally driving division regarding a religion, race of people that we really don't talk about. We talk about a government, a foreign government that is literally infiltrating our country. And you've got people like Gary Melton just like acting like it doesn't exist and it's not real.
And also,
that's what bothers me.
Gary might not be the most like wisest and smartest person, but do you guys doubt that he actually knows that Candace Owens doesn't hate Jews at all? Of course he knows that. Do you doubt that he doesn't know and he actually thinks that Candace is a Jew hater? He knows the truth.
Well,
So
take a
why
look
write
at this.
that?
Speaking of truth.
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
why write that? When you know she doesn't, why do you have to write it?
Maybe
What's
this
the
is
goal?
why. Maybe this is why. Pull it back up, thanks. September 8th, 2025, Clock Tower X Havas agreement date for Israeli-related strategic communications. September 18th, Parscal Clock Tower X FAR filing is received by the DOJ. September 24th, 6 days later, Paramount Tactical receives $39,000 in DOD purchase order. September 28th, 29th, he receives an additional $151,000. September 30th, Axios reports the Parscal's Israel FAR registration publicly. There is a timeline here. Now, can it be a coincidence? Yeah, of course. But when you factor in all these other coincidences, it needs to be looked at, especially when you see breaks in the pattern with the type of content that not just Gary Melton, but all of these creators started putting out. Because how many creators were objective and questioned the FBI and didn't trust the FBI or the government for years? And then all of a sudden, you have Charlie Kirk get assassinated publicly with all the anomalies and the hand signals and all this just weirdness and secrecy and things that don't make sense. And now the same people who didn't question the system before, all of a sudden they're the biggest supporters. And that everybody else who's questioning it, some people that they may have influenced themselves in the past, they're crazy and they need to be written off.
Yeah, of course. That's the goal, right? And we know Netanyahu himself. This is what I like about Netanyahu. I actually like him more than, the opposition, because the opposition is they are complete psychotic, weird, psychopathic, narcissistic people who just want to kill everyone, right?
Well, I would say Bibi is also that. I wouldn't discredit.
Oh, yes, but it's like, what's worse, right? Like, because there's always like compared to who or compared to what. And compared to Bibi, the other guys are 3 times worse. I'm not saying we should keep Bibi. He's a criminal. We should oust him. But this is why Israel is such a threat. Guys, there is no better option in this effing country. There is no better option. And trust me, we are looking, but there is no better option, right?
Well, why even get involved with them in the first place?
Exactly. So I said this to a friend of mine, a CEO, yesterday. We were talking about Gary, by the way, which we'll discuss later. But I said to him, isn't it funny that, Americans have been bamboozled into this lie and kind of conditioned to believe that we have to pay Israel billions and billions of dollars because they are our allies. Well, guess what? We have many allies, including my birth country, Georgia, but we don't pay them billions and billions a year. So, and the most important part here is, let's say we don't pay them billions and we just give them $2 million a year just for being an allied country, right? Do you really think they're going to go anywhere else? What is this tiny, shitty country is going to do? Like, what are they going to do? Stop being our allies? They exist because of us. Without us, they are done. Tell me, if we stop paying him, what is the move that we are afraid of here? That they're going to side with Russians? They will never side with Russians. That they're going to side with some of the Saudis or Iranians? Like, who they going to side with? They will be your ally no matter what, whether you pay or not.
I think that they would side with China.
They will not. China will not take them. You don't understand the relationship between Israel and the United States. No one wants Israel because of what entity it has become. China will never take Israel. I don't see a future in 20, 30 years where China and Israel are working together for whatever reason. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. But if we start,
I just think that the only thing that I see that Israel would be useful for the government and not us, right? I'm not saying useful for us. What I see them doing is they are literally trying to create, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
They're trying to create a new world order that is centric around Israel, where they have their whatever currency, everything is built up debt free in that country. They're clearing out all the areas around north, south, east, west, all that. And then they have Ukraine for agriculture. You've got the seas to be able to transport. It's very easy there to get things back and forth. You've got lots of oil. So I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't think it's anything about Israel being our greatest ally.
Of course not.
I don't think it has anything to do with any of that. All it has to do with is that they're trying to get out from under the debt that we have incurred ourselves in the United States and go and escape somewhere else that is more globally centric, which if you're talking about EU, Africa, all this stuff, then it's a better location. However, it's still, it's the Middle East, man.
Yeah.
Some can be beautiful, but Iran is the most beautiful place there is out there. You know what I mean? As far as the Middle East, and so they want that, right? That's the plan that I see is actually.
Yeah, Lebanon is incredibly beautiful as well. But my point was,
Lebanon is Lebanon
yeah.
Is
My point was, thanks, that if they didn't have these goals, right? If we were actually fed the truth, if Israel was actually our real ally, like a real one that doesn't, cut dogs' tails of CIA officers and shit in their houses, which is true. Ask John Kiriakou. Like, if they actually were real ally, right? They will be fine either way. Whether we pay them 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, or nothing, because they couldn't go anywhere else. Without us, they cannot exist, period. Without the United States, they have no support, no food, no military, no nothing. They will not be able to exist as a country.
Just a couple of nuclear weapons that people in the United States government don't want them to use.
Right, which they stole, by the way. They stole.
They stole from us. They stole from us. They stole it overseas and then allegedly in Pennsylvania too.
Yeah. And just a few days ago, actually last week, when John Kiriakou was on my show, guys, he said something. He never told me this story. This was something new for me, even though we always have hours of discussions on his stories. So he said Israel orchestrated this thing when they attacked the CIA officer or diplomat. Either it was a diplomat or CIA officer. They somehow got the tires, tire to blow up, and they stole the briefcase of this guy to steal our secrets. And that was Israel. If Russia had done it, I would understand. Okay, so Russia at this point considers as a hostile country, even though they don't want it to be that way. They've been trying to build this relationship for years now. We keep pushing them away. I would understand that. Iran, I would understand that. Even France, our ally, even them, I would understand. Israel did that? What?
So tell me what you think about this comment. Do you see it? It says, I gave you the benefit of the doubt when people labeled you as a foreign agent, but you are coming after Gary, an honorable man seeking the truth. He isn't paid by anyone. He's a decorated serviceman. He came after her first.
Here's what I have to say. Why am I coming after Gary? Maybe because he came after me and then lied about my credentials, which we happily all debunked in a previous video. So I will send you, if you're not a Gary propagandist or Gary himself, I will send you to that video. It's on the Danks' channel, how Gary, your hero, lied about everything. What kind of Green Beret military goes after a woman and then lies about everything he says? What kind of military does that? So just because he has military written on his forehead, we should just honor him? Guess what? You know how many people have military written on their foreheads? And some of them are in jail for killing kids and raping kids. Should we honor them too just because they were in the US military? What is your logic here exactly? Or I can give you John Stockwell's examples if you want. John Stockwell's countless examples in the book, how US military killed, tortured, raped. Should we honor these people too? And I'm not saying US military does all these things. All military has bad and good birds. So just because Gary's military, that means absolutely zero if your character is not there to back you up. And when you attack a journalist, an American journalist, and you try to smear her with all the lies, which again has been debunked successfully, you're not a military honorable guy. You're a cunt. That's my answer.
We'll play some of this. This is just what I put
Please
on my
do.
user.
Please do.
Bro, you know how incompetent you have to be to make a whole show about somebody and not do a Google search or any due diligence? It's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing.
Oh my gosh, you're talking about the small testicle guy?
So she came on my show last night, and let's just say she had some things to say. How about that?
Oh my gosh, look at this pathetic loser. He said, I'm gonna get his, you know what I'm talking about? Shove it up his, and I'm gonna make him.
Elizabeth Lane wants all the smoke. Gary Melton from Paramount Tactical probably should have picked a different opponent. And the fact that he did not even one Google search that I'm going to show you that literally took 1 minute or less, found out all the information that he was allegedly saying. I'm going to just fast forward it.
Yeah.
So he's basically just making stuff up.
Yeah.
Not doing research. Like,
right?
subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get right into it. Oh, and if you haven't, please like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Yes,
You know,
please
hit
do.
the bell. We don't always do much of this type of content. Mostly it's, investigative journalism work. But on behalf of our friend Elizabeth, figured why not, share the truth, because I am a truther at the end of the day.
No, I'm not going to debate you. First of all, that's nothing that you want to do is a debate. The way that you approached this entire thing was not a debate, and then you continue to lie. And so, no, I'm not going to debate you. You're not worth my time, not worth the effort. But what I am going to do is I'm going to continue to expose you because you're part of the lie, network
Wait,
that
hold on,
is
hold on,
Candace
hold on.
Owens and all her.
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt though. So he's talking about Elizabeth. He doesn't want to debate Elizabeth. He says that Elizabeth is not worth his time, right?
Yeah, but he did
He would rather
about me.
But he has no problem spending 3 hours of his time just lying to you, and then he has no problem giving his time and sharing his platform with someone like Lisa Knows Best. Yo, shout out to
Yeah, of
Lisa.
course.
She's mad
Who's a
entertaining.
nobody? Who's a nobody at all? Like, it's just amazing how.
Well, no, she's another show. It's just showing
course,
that
of
it's another person that either her. I'm not even going to go as far to say that she might have an agenda or that look into any DOD contracts, because that woman just looks shot. Like she doesn't really.
Oh, she's mentally not well. Like I'm not even.
I'm not even trying to attack her.
Yeah, I never even spent time on these idiots. Like I just don't have time to spend on these idiots. And the fact that I had to spend time on Gary is annoying the hell out of me. And everyone was like, Elizabeth, he's a moron. Just leave it. Just leave it. I'm like, no, if he's gonna attack me,
I forgot about this.
then he's gonna get,
Yeah, Danks threw himself in the drama. Now he's getting smoked with Lisa.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it. I didn't prefer not to. I don't really care what she
Come on,
has to say.
it's funny.
But anyway.
But I said I did invite her on the show. I said, you want to come on the show? Happy to chat. I haven't spoken or heard much about you until I saw you on Didi. Whenever someone else brings you up, honestly have no idea who you are. Happy to find out. Let me know. DMs are open.
Perfect. That's how you do it. This is why I invited Gary on my show. And it was a big no from him, as you can see. I'm not going to debate you. Why, Gary? Why? Are you scared? Why aren't you? Like, listen, if I'm such a propagandist, it should be very easy for you to destroy me in a debate. It should be super easy. So let's go. It still stands, by the way. The open invitation still stands. I also have not received any... I'm sorry, I got your credentials wrong. You've been doing interviews and shows for the longest time. I apologize. None of this, even though in the video, he pretended like I'm an honorable military guy. If I make a mistake, I'm going to come out and, I'll be the first one to say, folks, that it's all a lie. Gary, we're waiting for you to say that. Nothing. Crickets.
Nothing yet. Let's see what he's saying.
Other sycophants, and we're going to talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, what you represent. And again, you know what? This is
the lie. Who is Candace Owens? Bro, we've caught you and the people you're representing allegedly in so many lies we can't even count them anymore. anymore. You are literally a part of the lying ecosystem of Turning Point USA. Elizabeth Lane has been in the game longer than any of us. She deserves the ranks, honestly. She hasn't had any YouTube growth, really. She doesn't even do YouTube. She just started. Now, is the channel old? I don't know, but she hasn't been.
But the next thing you know, she's interviewing Tucker Carlson. She's interviewing ultimately Candace Owens.
She's friends with these people because she's been in the business for a long time. Something that journalists do is they network with other journalists or other content creators or commentators.
She interviews multiple people over there. As a matter of fact, let's go over to her channel for a moment. So here we have Elizabeth Lane TV. If you guys would like to, you can go give her a follow. I don't really care. But we go down. She gets extremely low views. And there again, she pops up out of nowhere.
I get higher views than him. Audacity. Talk about that. Audacity. I mean, it's crazy, dude. But sure, go on.
She gets low views because the account has been new, right? When you start creating and you're not consistent and it's every so often, you can go look at her page from the start to now. She just got 50,000 plus followers because of Candace's podcast that they did together that Candace let her put on her show, on Elizabeth Lane's show, instead of Candace putting it on her own. So because of that, she was able to get what all the Candace fans would love to see is an interview of Candace that Candace hasn't put out. Dude, it's so easy to explain any of the shit that he's saying.
Dude, you know what's funny? Gary sent his trolls here in the chat. And guess what, Gary? Unlike you, we don't delete trolls and comments. We will leave it up for you, Gary. We will leave it up for you. Danks, you have the screenshots that this guy sent me. The ones that he deleted completely. Can you put it up so we can show people what kind of honorable military Gary is? It's in
you never told me which ones they were.
It's in your phone. I send the screenshots in your phone. Do you want it on X or something?
Yeah. I have it.
So yeah, guys, like you're welcome. All trolls are welcome. We are not gonna delete that.
Talk about this one.
When it says like it's in your text message.
This one.
Yes, look, shame, 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 shame. And none of this is to be found. Like, show the other ones too. There were like multiple people.
Yeah, but these are spam though. This is not spam.
People are expressing their opinions and he deleted them. Why?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he blocks everyone, by the way. So this is all my followers. He just went ahead and blocked for some reason. Maybe because my followers already know the truth. And he doesn't want to interact with them because they're not going to be brainwashed by his stupid shit. So I urge you guys to go on my X and see my Paramount debunking post and just go through the comments and how many people say, I was blocked by Gary. I was blocked by Gary. I was blocked by Gary. So
she was in the business. Yeah. So she's been in the business. She was a COO. For Unified TV.
So first of all, what followers are you talking about, my dear? YouTube followers? We already debunked that myth. My YouTube is brand new. So this is also like one of the Gary's, obviously one of the Gary's people. Which one are you talking about?
You got like 100,000 on X, right?
Yeah. Or which one you prefer? Do you maybe prefer my Instagram, which is much older? But they don't mention that. No, they want only YouTube. First of all, I've been in this business over, 12 years now, and you have to pay for my content. So go ahead and pay $15 if you want to see all my content. It's on Unified TV, and go watch it.
Yeah. You have two Instagrams that have a lot of followers too.
Yeah, both. Gary has 4,000, but this guy has a problem with someone else.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in really trying to like people. You can see it or you cannot see it. Like, all you have to do is a Google search. You know,
they don't want to see it, right?
I think it's also worth noting, when did Gary's views start to go up? Now, mind you, they didn't go up all that much. Like when you look at his subscriber base, he's got 286,000 followers. The guy gets between like 400 and 600 on his lives.
Complete nonsense to me. Like that makes no sense, Bayes.
No, it doesn't. And it also doesn't make sense. Well, it actually does make sense when you really think about it. That, remember what I was talking about with the baseline, with him being objective and, like when he was still critical of the system and kind of anti-establishment.
Right.
For years, he was only getting 1,000, 2,000 views a video.
Right.
It wasn't until the Charlie Kirk assassination that his views and his subs started going up.
I agree. That's But
that's a lot of people though. If you're talking about like I everybody knows I'm fair, right?
well,
Excuse me.
Charlie
Just like I'll
Kirk
say,
brought a lot of eyes on him, and I think that's where his turn started. Because keep in mind, the propagandists that we're facing today are usually the ones who already covered Charlie Kirk, right? So let's say if I was one of the propagandists, I'm approaching the person who already has Charlie Kirk audience, and then I'm turning them into my benefit, right? And I'm paying them to change the narrative and put the shit out there. Now, I'll know very, very soon what kind of game Gary is playing. Like I said, it's being investigated. But I'm so exhausted with this dude. Here's how nice I'm going to be to him. Here's how nice I'm going to be to you, Gary. I know you're watching. Apologize, and I'll shake your hand. We move on. Apologize. You don't apologize, I'm going to be like a dog with a bone.
oh, you are definitely a dog.
So apologize for lying. You said yourself, you are the guy, honorable guy, who comes out and says, listen, when I make a mistake, I always comment, like, tell you guys that I made a mistake. You made a mistake about my credentials, my diploma, my work, pretty much everything. And the fact that I'm a Russian propagandist. Apologize. I'll shake your hand. We will move on honorably. Here, can you be any nicer than this to a person?
I think
Right?
that's very kind.
Yeah. But guess what? He's not going to do that, because I'm assuming he's not going to do that. Let's see. But to me, he's not an honorable person. So he's not going to do that. We'll see.
There is something I want to talk about. Do you mind if we kind of go into a similar direction where we're at? But this is something I think that, you know, it's important to talk about because it happened. And I don't know, like you're more, maybe you've seen this happen from other countries. I'm gonna play this. This happened. We all know who it is. I'm just gonna play it so in the beginning you'll know, and then we can kind of go from there. Let me share this tab here.
I'm sorry. Someone said, pause. Why were you on Sputnik Radio? Where was I again? Sputnik Radio. I never worked for a Sputnik Radio, you moron. Like, see, this is Gary's people. I never worked for any Russian channels, guys. Ever. Not even an hour of work for a Russian channel. What Sputnik Radio? Put up the fucking evidence that I worked for a Sputnik Radio. See, this is why I'm going to be like dog with a bone until I bury this guy, because he spewed this propaganda. And then people are like, well, Gary said that you were in a Sputnik Radio. Gary said, who the fuck is Gary? Why don't you go and do your own research? When was I at Sputnik Radio, working for Sputnik Radio again? Question mark. In fact,
Elizabeth's on fire.
Yeah, dude. In fact, I'm the only person, like so many journalists reach out to me because this propaganda is going on all sides, right? Iran has its own propaganda. So a friend of mine reached out and he was like, listen, I really want to support no war policy here. And Iranians reached out to me that they want to pay me for what I do. It's not going to be like me being a propagandist for Iran, but they want to pay because I'm telling the truth. Should I do it? I'm like, fuck no. You do not take money from a declared FARA agent, Iran or anyone else. You do not want that effing stain on your back. Once you do that, it's like being on OnlyFans or in a porno movie. Once you do that, there is no coming back.
Bro, look at this comment. Is that Project Constitution right there? Is this a troll? Gary is jealous of my full figure.
Probably Tim. Yeah. Gary's jealous of a lot of things. So yeah, again, I'm nice to Gary today for a reason. If you want to apologize, I'll accept your apology. You can apologize and say, listen, I jumped the gun. I said Elizabeth Lane didn't have any law degree. She didn't have any career before. She just popped up after Charlie died, just interviewing these big shots. We debunked all of this in a previous episode. Go watch it. But we can do a few today as well. So yeah, if he apologizes, I'm going to be the guy who takes the, the high road and shakes his hand. If it doesn't, then it's on. Very simple. It's very simple.
Well, I will tell you, sounds like you've got some, this is the thing, is that when you start digging into, like when you start lying or making things up or just being reckless with your research or your work on other people. I had a conversation with a group of very high profile influencers. We've been talking about something the last few days. There's a group of us, like 6, 7 of us. And we were saying, when you put something onto the table, right? Like, for example, Gary puts you on the table for investigation and who are you and propaganda this, then each time you put something onto the table, then that also becomes on the table for your opponent who you're calling out.
100%.
And then typically it goes 1 degree or more worse than what you put out, right? So it was just this conversation we're having. It's like, well, if I put out this personal information on somebody, then that means that at least that is on the table for them, for me, right? So then they will not have any problem bringing it out against me. So you better be careful. And I'm not speaking directly to Gary. I'm just saying in general, if you're doing this type of work, I would be careful who you're looking into and be sure that this is what you want to do, because I hope your closet is clean. If you are not Gary necessarily, anybody, but maybe Gary too.
Closet is full of skeletons, but I'm more interested in Jen because I already know what's in her closet. So Gary became very uninteresting to me once I got to that woman. Like, I was like, wow, like Gary became a boring figure all of a sudden. So, and I love my mystery. I love my investigations. By the way, so here's another thing I want to talk about: Russian channels. So RT, Russia Today, right? Sputnik, all this. So how is any of this any different from CNN? So if I go to CNN or Fox News, I will definitely, if Russia Today calls me, fuck yeah, I'm going. I'm not working for them ever, not take $1, but they want me as a guest. I'm going to show up every single time. Why should I not? CW or a German channel? You know what? Channels in Germany that said, well, Russia blew up the pipelines, and they went with this lying to their people for years, guys, for years. And then all of a sudden, oops, it was actually a merged operation with US and Ukraine. Ukraine did it, Ukraine. So constant lies. And these channels are okay, but when Sputnik is covering, not even Sputnik, Russia Today, RT, is covering most of the truth, debunk me on that, please. Compare CW and Russia Today and CNN and Fox News and Russia Today, and tell me if Fox News is better than Russia Today. If you can prove it, I'll give you money. They are all the same. They're all the same. All of them lie either equally or less and more. And I'm going to argue that RT lies a little bit less than, let's say, CNN. CNN was the biggest effing liar during COVID. The biggest. And it's okay to go on CNN, but not Russia. Why? Because it says Air USSA, IE or A, like Russia. Are you serious? Like,
I don't think the platform matters as long as they're letting individuals speak the truth.
Exactly. That's,
you know
my
what I mean?
point. It's just the thing, like if you show up to Russian channel, like Candice is on Russian or Tucker or somebody, oh my God, you are a propagandist. But if you show up on a propagandist German channel, somehow you're not a German propagandist. How is that a logic at all? Like, how is this a thing? It escapes me. Der Spiegel, for example, we know for a fact that they are directly controlled by the intelligence. No one has a problem with that. Oh yeah, sure. Let them spew the lies. Let them do all of that. We have no problem. But Russia Today is the problem. I'm sorry, I'm not buying into your Russia bullshit. And I will never buy into it. Russia is a great country. It will always be a great country. It was one of the best countries to do all the right things. And Gary and people like Gary bitch about, well, our food is poisoned and GFK is like a conspiracy. Guess what? Food is not poisoned in Russia. Vladimir Putin said, No GMOs in Russia, period. We're not doing that. We are not poisoning our people. But somehow he's the monster, guys. He's the monster, and Russia is the monster. I'm so up to here with this bullshit. It's not even funny anymore. So we're done with Russia bashing. If you want to bash Russia with me, it's not going to work out. Done. And the same with the United States, by the way. If you're going to bash the people of the United States, it's not going to work with me. If you're going to bash the government, oh yes, I'm on the bandwagon. You know why? Because the United States government is against the United States people right now. If it was not like that, we would all support them, but they are. They look at what's happening with RFK, mRNA vaccines, glyphosate. All of these were supposed to be gone and taken away. We are more poisoned today than ever before. What changed? Nothing. I'm tired of picking food at the grocery store. I'm up here with that completely. So, no, you want to bash the deep state in the US? Hell yeah. No one supported Trump more than me until he made 180 on us. So we're done.
Yeah, he definitely.
I want to say
Definitely
something.
did
I want
well.
to say something real quick because I've been paying attention to the chat.
And
as
yes to
much as
this.
I can.
Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna cover this right after
Yeah.
this.
But I just, I want to acknowledge the chat because I'm seeing all the chats here in StreamYard. And, I see people that agree with Elizabeth. I see people that disagree with her. I see a couple people taking some shots at me and Danks here and there. And I just want to say, that's okay. That's okay.
Exactly.
This
We're
is
not
not,
deleting comments here.
this is not an echo chamber. And if any of us ever present something that isn't correct, bring the evidence and we'll make the correction.
Right.
And that's the difference between us and a lot of these other creators because, especially Gary, again, I hate to keep going back to him, but how many times has he pushed a narrative for Erica Kirk or Andrew Colvett and it gets proven wrong, and he never goes back to it. He never argues the facts. He never stays on the topics. It's always personal attacks trying to discredit Candace. And that's why, even though Elizabeth is a little more hostile with this situation, and I don't blame her, this guy went live and tried to completely drag her for 3 hours. So I'd be pissed off too. I'm trying to be more objective here. And from what I've seen, like I said, watching his past content, this is somebody that I would believe. I would find him credible. But there is a clear change in in his energy and the content that he's putting out. And there's a reason. There has to be a reason for that. And when you look at the facts and you look at the topics, Erica Kirk has been caught in countless lies. And so has Andrew Colvett. And people like Candace and Barron and Danks and all these other creators have brought a lot of legitimate and factual evidence to the table that contradicts the narrative, that contradicts Turning Point USA, the FBI, Erica Kirk, and he doesn't touch
We're
it.
talking
He doesn't
facts.
acknowledge. Yes, and he doesn't touch it.
100%.
He doesn't acknowledge it. And my
Right.
question is why? What changed? Why? Because the Gary for the first 5 years would have been all over that. He would have been all over that. He would have raised awareness to it. He would have questioned it. And he was giving objective takes. Like when you look at those clips, it's not like he went from totally bashing Trump and this one to all of a sudden he completely flipped on every single position. But there is a clear change. There's a break in the pattern that needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah, and when you claim you're an honorable military man and you never apologize for your mistakes, that's it. You lost credibility, dude. When has Gary come out and apologized for all the mistakes he made? Listen, it might be a mistake. Maybe Guy genuinely believes in what he does. Maybe he genuinely wants to push this narrative, destroy Candace because he really thinks that Candace is hurting his country. Great. You know what? For a second, I'm with you there, Gary. Okay, you made mistakes. Come out and apologize for it. Why not? You yourself said you're an honorable man, whether it's Candice, Erica, or me. So, listen, I have no problem apologizing.
Why do you think? Sorry, Nate, why do you think that he's attacking you? Do you think that he is working for somebody? I mean, it's
No, he got butthurt about my comment. That was it. So, by the way, he made it seem like I attacked him first. First of all, I did not post an attack on you, Gary. I posted a comment, which was true. Why is it always the ugly men who go after pretty women? Candice is pretty. I'm sorry, Gary. If you don't have a mirror, then it's going to be me, the first person to tell you, you're not very attractive. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Guys, generally, especially military, most of the military guys, some are extremely hot. I know for a fact.
I know you're all okay. All right. Well, what we're gonna do? We're gonna move on a little bit
just
from
saying,
here.
listen. So what pisses me off is this mother of the 4 kids, right? Or 5? How many she has? 4. So mother of 4 kids is being attacked by a grown effing man with a wife. Imagine if someone did that to his wife, dude. Imagine if someone went on. Let's say Candice believes, and I know she does. She believes in what she says. She's honest about it. So let's say Gary's wife one day decides to do a show and she gets it wrong. Like she gets it wrong. And imagine military grown men attacking everything she says. Gary, not worth the money, buddy. Not worth the money. And your own military people, which I have on the phone, I will gladly show it to you. They are even willing to come and debate with us if you want to. Still stands, by the way. Are against you, buddy. So that's the thing. Imagine if your wife was the subject of that. But you don't care, do you? Because you're not an honorable man. So yeah, I made that comment, which I stand by the way. And then the guy goes and makes a whole post about me and claims that I attacked him. No, I made a comment on an open platform, by the way, which your trolls are all over mine every single day. Not yours personally, but TPUSA's. So I'm sorry, but comments are allowed on X. When you put out your opinion, you have to be, not so tender and sensitive that you can take the comments. But you were the one who attacked me first. I didn't even post anything about you because you were not important. And you just made yourself very important, Gary. That's what happened.
All right. You heard it here. She wants all the smoke. More smoke.
She's like an apology. He has an option. I'm not a ruthless person.
Speaking of all the smoke, Liz, what did you think about that image I made the other day?
Oh my gosh, that was great. It was great.
So
thumbnail on he can see it's on his channel, but yeah, like
I'll pull it up.
Like I said, I'd like to move on. Okay, we have another 20 minutes or so. Yes. Now this is important, right? I think it's very interesting. Let me know in the chat. Just put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that Jank from the TYT and his nephew.
What I just mentioned, I just talked
Hassan
about
Piker. Yeah, they've been banned from going to the UK, and I think it's the beginning of many others that will be banned on behalf of speaking out against Boston. I think it's quite interesting and unfortunate, but personally, I don't know. The UK, I've never been. I've kind of always wanted to go, but let me know if you've been and if you would want to go back in the chat. Let's play this. I haven't seen it. I'm just going to play the first beginning of it. It's 30 minutes. We're just going to go through and see what they have to say. I think this is titled Hassan Piker, Jank address horrifying ban from UK. And I remember I was watching Jank as soon as he dropped the live. I watched it when I found out. And I feel for him, bro. Like imagine you're going somewhere and you go to show up and fly out and they're telling you you're not allowed to go. And when he said it, it might be better to show his original what he said, because in his video it was I could feel the gut punch, right? Because imagine going to a place and then knowing that they don't want you there, like you can't even go, so it's got to be kind of a real punch that you didn't expect. So I'm going to actually play that first. Hold on 1 second. And seeing that, it hurt me to see. I feel bad. I'm a human being, man. And I think Jank, he's spoken up for America more than almost anybody. I mean, it's on this internet. I don't know why it's
like go back to Turkey and like he has done more for this country than most people. And it's just, and I don't even watch them. Like Jenks and these outlets are not my type, right? But hey, whenever you're speaking the truth, I'm with you. If tomorrow Tina Ruben or anyone else starts speaking this truth, guess what? I'm with you. But bullshitters are not tolerated, period.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, here we go. I got it ready. So I got 2 clips. We'll see what we can look at, and then we'll keep going.
Kingdom. Not
okay.
Hi, guys. I just got banned from the United Kingdom. Not joking. I'm not exaggerating. I just got back from the airport and I was going to get on a flight to go to London. And they said, I'm sorry, sir, there's a problem. I said, what's the problem? They said, you've been banned from the United Kingdom. So that just happened. This is what I was going to the airport in. And they said that the British government has rejected my visa. They did not give an explanation at that time, but we now have the explanation. It was in an article in Times of London, as butchered as that article was, and I'll explain to you why they say that they're banning me and why I'm apparently a danger to the public order. I know I had that kind of power. That's interesting. I walk into the public and people go nuts, apparently. And so what horrific criticism.
I will say someone made a comment. Hold on one second.
You should probably unfreeze his face like that. It's not nice.
So Nightwolf, I've seen you've been trolling Elizabeth in the chat. They don't want, I'm just going to mention this. They don't want radical leftists in their country. Big surprise, Cenk and Hassan should go back to Turkey. They aren't wanted here. Elizabeth, go back to Georgia. So the thing is, it's like, I don't see any radical, like what is radical about any of us, really? You know what I mean? It's like, or, you know, I shouldn't lump myself in with everybody. I have very different opinions, but all I see Cenk doing is speaking as an American. You know what I mean? Like you can tell if you just listen, if you actually go and, because I used to hear a lot of the same rhetoric about Cenk and TYT and various other people, but then I went and listened. Some people, it kind of proved to be true, but Cenk, he's as American, pro-American as it gets. I'm not left or right. I don't have a political side. You know, I don't.
I'm the same way, by the way. People keep calling me Republican. I'm not Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm in the middle. And I never was one or the other. The only thing I would say is that, Danks, I think you will agree with me. I'm a Kennedy Democrat, which was the middle back then. You know what I mean? Completely different thing. So yeah.
I'll play a little bit more of this and then I'll go to the other.
Government did I have? They said, oh, no, he didn't criticize the British government. You'll never guess which government's criticism got me banned from the United Kingdom. You'll never guess it. I mean, you could take days trying to guess. Is it Iceland? Is it Paraguay? Is it Turkmenistan? Oh, gosh. Is it America? Is it Russia? Is it the UK? No. Oh, you guys already figured it out? That it's Israel? Yes.
Of course.
I know it's shocking, but you are correct. I got banned from the UK, not for criticizing the UK, but for criticizing Israel. And so I'm going to show you exactly what they said and break it down for you because it is beyond absurd. So, and it feels weird, guys, honestly, like they literally took my freedom away. And I'll tell you this, when I was at the airport and they told me, and they're like, sorry, sir, you're not allowed to board the flight. You cannot travel to Great Britain. It felt like
you could see it in his face that it bothered him. That sucks.
You cannot travel to
wouldn't
Great Britain.
it bother you, Danks?
Of course, man.
It felt like a little bit of a gut punch, and I'm surprised by that because it's kind of hard to shake me, right?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Is like that surprise of, nope, sorry, you're not welcome here, and we're not going to let you.
What he has to say, and it's not just upsetting for him personally, which I'm sure it was, but it's like a sign of the times that is where we're getting to in the world. And you know, we talk a lot about data centers and 15-minute cities and all that, but that type of isolation, it really is in line with those types of fears of the direction that the world is going to. When people just say, you know what, you stay over there, we don't want you here, and they just try to silence people's voices and just lock them in to like these little bubbles. And you know,
and what have we seen? What have we seen? Right, we've seen the UK and the EU, the European Union or whatever. They've slowly or quickly, the last 2 decades, headed down this route. And what have we seen? We've seen a slow bleed of what they're doing in Ireland, in the UK, and France and Italy, and it's all starting to happen here, right? We've got the migration of foreigners from all over just pouring in. We've got silencing of speech. We've got banning of people from the internet. We've got calls for extremist Christian radicalism to be on notice with the IDF.
That was a CIA program, right? Do you know that was a CIA program? So they headed to Cuba like to radicalize people. So
Oh,
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
patriots as radicals. That was the thing. They did it in Cuba. They did it in South America. They did it in ex-Soviet countries. So every patriot that had a voice, the idea was to set up these NGOs that would funnel the money to these so-called networks and journalists and so on, so that they would absolutely smear the real people like diplomats and journalists and call them radicals and dangerous terrorists in the country. And what is danger again? What is he saying that's radical exactly? Can you name one thing that he has said that's radical?
We don't need to be in the war in
Right.
Iran. This is all stupid.
How
Like, why
radical.
are we giving all these hundreds of trillions of dollars to other countries? It's like, oh wow, that's so
How
radical.
radical.
Like, I think
Exactly.
any American
But
would
they try
agree
to
that.
label everything as radical, you know.
And then they
during,
label-
during ICE, the people that were protesting ICE, they were saying we're domestic terrorists.
Yep.
And then with the data centers, now they're trying to say that they're anti-tech terrorists or anti-tech extremists.
That's a
You know, it's
thing now.
insane. It's like anybody that disagrees, they're either going to be silenced in one way or another. They're going to have the law weaponized against them, or they're just going to be isolated in some other way and labeled as an extremist.
Yeah, that's a thing. And look what they did with speech now. For the first time in American history, they actually put it in the law that certain speech will be categorized as a domestic terrorism and domestic terrorist speech. So guess what? Tucker fits the narrative right there. So they are calling Tucker Carlson, who's a patriot of this country and always was, a domestic terrorist. I mean, you know how many times I have asked myself, why am I fighting for this country? If this country is so gone, why am I fighting for it? And I've asked this to so many friends. I'm like, you know what, guys? I am this close of being done with this fight, saying to this country, F you. Like, if you want to go over the cliff, go over the cliff. I'm done with this fight. But something inside me just does not allow me to do that. It's like, no, you're born to do this. Just keep fighting. Maybe there's a hope. And I know you feel the same way. That's why, guys, you're doing what you're doing. Otherwise, like, we're not millionaires. No one's paying us. No one's paying us for this shit right now. You know what I mean? We're doing it because we care. And tomorrow, I don't want my future kids to live in an Orwellian world. And Gary and people like him, and I don't want to talk about this guy anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But I'm just making an example here, that people like that who are spewing this hate and attacking other Americans. Dude, attack fucking Ayatollah. Go attack Ayatollah. Go attack Netanyahu. Like, you're attacking Candace. You don't like Candace, move on. Don't listen to her. Period. Attack real terrorists.
And I just want to say one more thing. I just want to say one more thing. And I know Danks wants to go on with this clip. Because, like I said, like, my first conversation with Elizabeth was when we were live the other night. But then I ended up having a couple of conversations with her on the phone. We had some long talks and we got to know each other to some extent. And I will say, from the first conversation that I had with Elizabeth, she believes in American values, what she believes in the Constitution and what this country is supposed to be and how it's supposed to work and how it's supposed to operate. And that's why I'm happy to now be able to call her a friend and share the stage with her again. So anybody out there that's trying to say, oh, she's a Russian propagandist, she's this, she's that, you could not be more wrong.
I think that, like, people might get that because she openly debates about all different types of economic and political cultures, where her and I got into a heated debate about communism and capitalism, and that is actually important to have.
Very.
People that won't even discuss it,
Yep.
that's your loss. I think that because she's had, like, I've been around the world towards more Asia, more Southwest Pacific. She's been more into the Middle East. I happen to be half Iranian, but I'm not born there. I've never been. So she has experience globally that I think she can bring a lot of value in conversation. And so because people see, this is just what I think, because people see her debate this stuff, they might think that she's pro this stuff. I don't believe that's the case. Although I think that she's wrong about the communists in China being a clean communist. whatever. I don't want to
No,
rehash that. I know I should have
again,
brought it up.
we are not gonna debate this. But you keep saying
Round two, fight.
yeah, but you keep saying that I love Chinese communists. I actually don't like China at all. I've been very outspoken about this. China is not the country I could ever live in. I don't like their traditions. No offense to all Chinese people who are, if you guys are listening, I don't care that I don't like their traditions. I'm not going to assimilate in something like China ever. But I'm saying there are people in China who were hungry and devastated, and China has skyscrapers today, and to not recognize that is stupid. And China is a set-up country today. How they did it is their effing business. It's not yours, not mine. So they like it that way. Great. I don't want Chinese model anywhere. I always say this. It's not going to work for anyone else. Maybe for some countries in, Asia or something. Not for the United States. But to say that Chinese people are terrible and they live in this dictatorship, they don't. I'm sorry, they don't. They're happy. They're happy. And I'll tell you one more thing. When I had Russian diplomat Dmitry Polyansky on my show, you know what Dmitry told me? I invited him and he was like, Elizabeth, you are very effing brave. No American journalist would have invited me. I was like, I don't care, Dima. You can come to my show. Anyone can come. Saddam Hussein can come to my show and make his effing case. That's the thing. That's a real discussion. But no, the people are not okay. This is why I invited Gary. You think I like Gary? Gary calls me Russian propagandist. I don't like him, but I'm happy to have him because that's important. Maybe Gary can teach me a lesson. Maybe Gary can show something to me that I don't see. Great. Come to my show, bro. Let's do this.
That's the important thing, and that's what we saw Tucker doing, right?
Yeah.
And then, because he interviewed someone from Iran, or he went to Russia, or he went to Turkmenistan, wherever the fuck he's going. It's like, he's an asset and an agent for them, and it's like, like that's how deep rooted the Fox News mainstream media propaganda machine has penetrated. Is that they forgot what real journalism looks like, and it looks like what we are doing. You know what I mean? I invited Lisa. She decided to make a hit video on me. I guess I haven't watched it, but she did. And I've never really even said anything about her. I've only commented on what people showed me, and I've never made it a point. But then what did I do? I didn't attack her. I didn't say anything. All I said was happy to have you on the show. And I think that should be the hallmark of any person that's claiming to do any research or journalism. I claim to be just a dumb comedian. I'm really not that smart. And so it's important, though, to keep open discourse, because as soon as you close it off, as soon as you start calling people things that you don't know if are true or not, then you kind of, labels and you shut the door on finding truth, and then you open the door for creating division. And that's one thing I'm not a fan of at all, because it's stuff like that leads, and here's a great entry to this video that leads to this type of shit happening, is the community gets propagandized, becomes outraged, and then the people in the political atmosphere use whatever little bit of power they can find from the people or anybody around them to actually embolden and empower some type of law or legislation that backs up the claim of whatever radicalism they so choose, right? So let's jump into this and just see what I can't wait to see this. I haven't seen it yet, so let me jump into this.
Welcome back to the Young Turks. Cenk Ugrianic Kasparian and Hassan Piker joins us. So now that
and I will say, I don't think that what he said, Hassan Piker, is at all good. I don't think that you should be saying people should be murdered or blood and guts on the street. Like, I am not for that. I think that what he did was wrong, and I don't know where the line is legally, because I don't look into that stuff. I would never even get close to saying that. But I would never condemn him. You know what I mean? I would never say he doesn't need to ever go to another country, or he's never proven to be violent to my nature. I could be wrong, but do you see him wielding a firearm and blasting shots at the cops? No, you don't. So he might have gotten a little heated. He is an entertainer at the end of the day. I'm not making excuses, but I look at all the sides, right? But I by far would never condone what he said. And that's really the only thing that I don't know. He's also done the thing with the dog. So whatever it is, though, I will say this: the UK can do whatever they want. However, it's very interesting and bothersome that it's on behalf of another government, right? This is the whole point of all. Is it's not, oh, poor Hassan, oh, poor Cenk. All it is, this is my purpose of even discussing it, is that we're next. We're next. They're literally talking about putting the military together, which is treason, by the way. So right now, hold on. Right now, before anybody, if you don't understand, in order to do anything with any foreign military, it has to go through all these different types of passing of legally in the government, you know? Right. If you fuse a foreign military along with the ballroom bunker and the data shit that they're putting down there, and who's building it, all of the zoologists and the Boston folks, these are the people that you're going to infiltrate our government and military with. So we're next. You know, it's not.
And it's crazy
just
too.
them.
Think about what Trump said yesterday. I saw that Jesse Waters reported it. I was shocked. I didn't believe it. But Trump apparently, so Trump's trying to make peace with Iran, and one of the stipulations Iran wants is for Israel to stop bombing Lebanon. So Netanyahu came out and said that they're not going to stop bombing Lebanon, and then Trump apparently came out and called them fucking crazy. He's like, "You're fucking crazy." Like, this is from President Trump, said to Benjamin Netanyahu, saying, "You're fucking crazy. If it wasn't for me, you'd be in jail. This is why everyone hates you, and this is why everyone hates Israel." Like, that is what President Trump allegedly said, and it was reported by Fox News.
And this
but even still, they're talking about merging.
100%. And then this propaganda is going like Israel, Jew, like, no. So your president is put in a situation when he's embarrassed in front of the world, if that's true, by the way, because they've been playing these games for the longest time. If that's true, and you're going to side with the Israelis? Are you kidding me? And one thing I want to say, guys, this is how people should behave, by the way. So there is one of those Gary followers who's also a big figure. He's like his own, like, a taker of Candace Owens. Everyone knows him on X. Okay, let's start here. So he comments ugly about my stuff, and I comment back, and it's obviously when I bite back, it's always very bad. So he reaches out afterwards and says something like this. I'm going to cut his name out because I don't have his consent for this. So something like this. Hey, Elizabeth. So it says, Elizabeth, to be honest with you, I've got no beef with you. Like, he explains that he doesn't have a problem with me at all. I guess he just has a problem with Candice and others, and apologizes and says, listen, I will not come after you again. So to that, I, like a nice human, reply, hey, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate it. No hard feelings. We can agree to disagree on stuff. And then I said, it takes guts to do that. It takes a lot of what this guy did. You know how honorable that is? We don't see eye to eye on anything, guys, at all. His post and my posts are radically different. And to reach out to a person who is in the complete different orbit and say, listen, I'm going to be the first one to reach out. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that again. So what I did is just to show my niceness and kindness for his honorable act, I went and took down the ugly comment that I fired back. And then he went and took down his. That's how people should behave. We are both Americans.
We're all human. You know, we just, we are all reasonable to an extent, most people, right? So I think that goes to show, like, anything can come of any situation. It's up to usually the people that are involved, right? So, yeah, man, kudos to that person. All right, so we're gonna play some of this, and then what we'll do is we'll talk about it, and then we'll do whatever super chats there are, and then we'll bounce. All right, so
Hassan and I are here where you're at serious risk of public disorder. So mayhem might break out at any second now. So we're both on Hassan's stream on Twitch and our show on YouTube and everywhere else. So Haas,
can I start off with something a little different? So we're going to talk about Cenk.
And I love Anna Kasparian. I will say that.
She's awesome.
I love her.
Hi, Steve.
She's awesome. She's awesome. Yeah.
And Hassan getting banned from the UK, but I see this as part of a broader campaign targeting you, Haas, because I don't like being put in a situation where I have to defend you. I'm just gonna keep it 100. But Dave Rubin went on a show and claimed that you harassed me and other women at work, which was a brazen lie. I went out and said that it was a brazen lie. You never once harassed me at work. What do you think this is about? And why do you think it's okay, or why do they think it's okay to just make up lies about you like that? I mean, like, sexual harassment is a serious allegation. And for Dave Rubin, who I haven't spoken to in over a decade, to speak on my behalf like that and make something.
Let me see if there's anything else. Like I said, I haven't seen this, so I'd like to see if they talk about the ban. Okay, here, this looks interesting.
That they rounded up and arrested. So dangerous. And by the way, Haas, Cenk alluded to the fact that you were in the UK not that long ago. And I want to show everyone what you were talking about when you were in the UK not too long ago. Let's take a look at that.
Anti-Semitism is a canary in the coal mine of fascism. It's one of the oldest bigotries that has caused those of the Jewish faith a tremendous amount of pain. From pogroms to the Holocaust, Jews have always been singled out by those in power as a scapegoat for instability and economic volatility people in power cause. A resilient.
Whoa.
What a Jew hater, right?
Whoa.
Unbelievable.
I didn't expect that.
Unbelievable.
Wow. That is very astute.
Nascent anti-Semitism is a constant threat, especially as economic instability makes those in power seek out old targets. They're not very creative, usually. They just always rehash the same propaganda over and over again. This is precisely the reason why I am terrified of the conflation of anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism. The conflation is dangerous. Valid criticisms against the state, especially as all of the violence is unfolding, and everyone can see it. Valid criticisms against the state committing these atrocities and tying it back to Judaism is a cynical ploy to stop all matter of conversation is truly terrifying. And I think it directly causes anti-Semitism to fester.
And look, I agree with everything you said there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, that's very well said, actually. I didn't expect that. And he's right. When you see the continuous harping on the fact that, oh, this is anti this, oh, this is anti us, it's like, okay, well, what isn't anymore? You know what I mean? I guess that was good enough. But I mean, it's
the questions, guys.
Yeah, it was. It's sad to see. It's sad to see our country and others start to fall down this rabbit hole of using an injured religion, by history's standpoint, injured religion, to actually use it as ammunition for a weapon. And he's right. I think it's dangerous. What's up, honey? Welcome to. Thank you for the membership, Keith. Love Elizabeth. You are beautiful and intelligent.
Thank you.
A F-35. $10. Fort Worth. Yes, we grew up in the 80s fearing Russia, smoke and mirrors. Russia, IDF, IDF, IDF. We have a missed opportunity to ally with Putin to end corruption in Ukraine. Then Boston would be screwed. That's interesting. Yeah, I think Russia was like trying to do some. What were they doing? They met in Florida, didn't they? He met with Trump in Florida to broker
they
some.
met on Alaska latest meeting, but I mean, I'm not gonna go into this history. How many times Russian says, "Let's be friends, let's be friends, let's be friends," and we promise, sure, we can be friends, and we screw them over again and again and again. I talk about this on my Russian side, like when I cover Russian side, Ukrainian side, Georgian side, Soviet history. I have the ground and I know what I'm talking about when I talk about these things. So if you want to listen. If you want to keep spewing some high school propaganda they taught you, it's your business, bro. I don't care. The problem is it's hurting our country. So you decide, but great comment. This guy's right. He's right.
Thank you. Anti-social media says, okay, so why no one apologized for Fort Huachuca?
What does that have? What kind of
apologize for what
that?
exactly? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, was it proven wrong? If you prove it wrong to me, I have not heard anything from Candice or anywhere else that it has been debunked and proven wrong. If you can provide, my ex, you seem like one of those people who follow Gary. Write me. I'm open-minded. if you can debunk Fort Huachuca, please do write me, and I'll be the first one to come out and say Candace was wrong. By the way, I was that girl who came out on Alex Jones and said, "Listen, I love Candace. I listen to her. It's her show. She can do whatever she wants. But I don't believe Mitch Snow Guy. I don't believe that he. I believe that he thinks that what he saw was these two people because he's mentally not all there. But I don't believe him." I said, "Well, guess what? After all the craziness that followed with all this Fort Huachuca thing, I'm like, you know what? Now I'm starting to believe it, because I thought it would be like, he's crazy, we move on. But the defense that just went like on with this and the attacks on Candace made me question, like, what's going on here? So no, it hasn't been debunked to me. If you can debunk, great. I'm all ears. I can hear it. What else do you want me to say? You know what
so
I mean?
far, we still haven't. I heard that there's an image floating around of Erica actually being there. I don't know if it's true, but
No, there would be no image of Erica floating. I think these are just stupid shit, like propaganda stuff. So here's the thing. Again,
and I don't want that to be true. You know what I mean? It's
who does, dude? Who does? Who wants?
It seems
to?
like people want that. Like, people need to know. We want truth.
Speaking of images floating around, I never got to ask Elizabeth Lane this. So there was an image. So back in 2013, I believe, Erica Kirk starred in a music video. And in the music video, she had a tramp stamp. And I've been trying to figure out if Erica Kirk really has a tramp stamp or if it was just like faked on for that particular music video. Are you familiar with this?
No, actually, I'm not. But
I'm gonna have to send you the image after.
Yeah, send me the image. I can tell you right now that there are so many different fake stuff about Erica, just like on Candace. Both of them get their share of propaganda, right? Some people like spewing propaganda about Erica. My problem with Erica is very simple, and I've been very outspoken. It's her behavior, her lies, which again, just in my video covering All In with Charlie Kirk on my channel, I played her both videos, her years before, just like 2 years after what she said. I'm like, girl, you gotta stop lying. I understand, like, people lie sometimes, they forget things, but when it's consistent, that's when I started having problems with Erica Kirk. My problems with Erica Kirk is very different what Candace's problems are with Erica Kirk. So again, this is why I invited openly Erica. Hey, listen, you said you were at that dinner, correspondent dinner, to meet people who speak badly of you so that you can put face, for them right in their faces and face to face, have that nice discussion, whatever. I said, you know what, Erica, I'm one of those people who do not like you. I don't like you. So, but I'm willing to have you just to clear things up. I've got a lot of questions for you. So please come on. You said you are looking for journalists like me. I'm here. I'm open. You saw my status. Why not say, you know what? Who is this Elizabeth Lane? I said I'm looking for journalists like her. Let's sit down. If Tucker Carlson is willing to sit down, I doubt Erica Kirk is more popular, okay? So maybe you should. But crickets, no comments. The same with Blake Neff. Blake Neff came with not directly attacking me. They are smart enough, but passive-aggressive attack. And I'm like, dude, stop this like bitching behavior of passive aggressiveness. Be direct. Come on. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I was the one who asked Candace Owens, if Erica turns out to be completely innocent, other than the lies we already heard, maybe she's just a liar, who knows, completely innocent of the situation, what are you going to tell her? And she says, listen, I will say I'm sorry. And so will I. But the problem is Charlie's assassination is too important to worry about someone's feelings right now. Period.
100%. Munir's World says Russia ain't the enemy. It is Boston.
Boston, sure.
Bostonians. A. Barnes, $20. Charlie was a puppet, and the show got out of control when the strings got cut. Probably intentional MK Ultra propaganda to install and test a new totalitarian surveillance system. Dude, I was on the surveillance system for a whole month with, actually, when I was doing stuff with Project Constitution. we uncovered a lot. We uncovered a lot of what could be, what really did it for me was the immense pressure that they've been placing on schools, colleges, and high schools, going on Fox News against St. John's in New York. Oh, you're not taking our chapter. Like this is, and then all of the things I made multiple live streams and videos. You'd have to go look. But dude, if there was a surveillance state being built out of what TPUSA is doing by harvesting data, using superfeed technologies to use American voter data, people that show up to events, geotagging and geofencing their devices, I would not be surprised at all. In fact, I would say, I told you so. So I'm right there with you. I don't know. Charlie was a puppet. I think that can be true in some cases. I think he might have started to turn to try not to be a puppet, and that might have been what got him.
I think it was an
86.
unwitting one. I don't think Charlie would be anybody's puppet. That was not in his character. I think Charlie really genuinely thought what he was doing is exactly what he should have done. And guess what? He was doing a lot of good things. But this pro-Israeli stand, right? And guess what? He was smart enough to realize when it started hurting his country, he was like, I'm done with this cause. Very simple. I'm done with this cause. Now I see what's really going on, and boom, he's dead. Yeah.
Bayes, anything?
No, you pretty much. I could add in about how I went to that town hall meeting in my town the other day, and now I'm seeing that they're having the DOJ is sending, I believe, FBI agents and different people to surveil those town hall meetings in the local communities regarding the data center. And I do believe that there's a lot of geofencing going on there too.
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie, unfortunately, he's not here to defend himself. I wish he was, but he's not. Mountain Star Studio, $2. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, earlier. Savvy Sabs, deep dive. See Savvy's deep dive in contracts. Michael Jackson and Prince, perhaps. All right, I'll take a
Michael
look.
Jackson is a weird death for sure. I looked at it for some time, and it's seriously questionable.
I did a deep dive on Michael Jackson. There was definitely again, you look at patterns and timelines, and like when money's involved. And Michael Jackson had a lot of leverage with Sony. He really backed Sony into a corner, and he had a lot of power. He had a lot of money. He had a lot of influence. And then all of a sudden, the allegations come out in the early 90s, and it also came out around the same time that he wrote the song. They Don't Care About Us.
He asked his audience to take cameras out for a second, and he said, Tommy Mottola is devil. So can you guys look up, is Tommy Mottola Jewish? The reason I'm asking is because this Hollywood, nothing against Jews, but I remember he said he was Jewish, and I want to double check if he is Jewish, because the Hollywood is predominantly Jewish Zionist controlled, right? So can you look it up if I got that right?
I looked, but it's not on here. I could share.
Marlon Brando years ago. I think it was for when he got the Oscar, when he won the Oscar, if I'm not mistaken, for The Godfather. He said that he refused to show up to the Oscars to accept his award, to protest Zionism and the control that Zionism was taking over Hollywood.
that long. So earlier life is where you're gonna find it.
He converted to Judaism.
Wow.
In 71.
Wow.
American born, raised in Bronx. Following his 92. Yeah, he married Mariah Carey.
Yep.
After that, which is interesting. So yeah.
How interesting. Yeah.
Bayes memberships. Thank you to Bayes memberships. Say thank you if you got it. More Bayes memberships. Dang, more Bayes. We're making it rain over on Bayes. Mountain Star Studio, appreciating the collaboration of top tier talent. Thank you. Really good to see you. Thanks for joining Mountain Stars. Freedom of Speech Absolutist says thank you. Thank you. Barnes back again, $20. What is the proper punishment for intentionally lying to push a political narrative? What is the proper punishment for being duped and pushing a false narrative? Who decides and so politicize and propaganda? Some politicize and propagandize judge. I will say real quick that if you want to keep your freedom of speech, these lines right here don't need to be crossed.
Yeah, you shouldn't be punished for what you say. But if you are purposely pushing some sort of narrative and you were paid to do so, if there's a crime, it should be in the transaction.
That is
not in the words.
Let me tell you something. When
No, I guess what I should say. Sorry to hold on.
No,
what I should say is, you're right. I should have thought about it more before I said that, because if you are literally intentionally trying to do something that could be harmful to the country or the people involved, or if you were paid to do so by a political figure or coming from anywhere that could tie back to, then yeah, I think it should be a crime. Actually,
absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead, Elizabeth.
There is FARA for a reason, right? So if you want to work for another country and spread their narrative, you have to declare yourself as a foreign agent, FARA. That's why it exists, right? So this is something we should dive in, by the way, guys. You will be shocked how many Congress members actually are related with this FARA organization, FARA declared organizations, donating money to them. You will be floored. Like it's crazy. But declare yourself as a foreign agent so we know where it's coming from, and then we have no problem. But if you're going to take money with the back way somehow in like dark alleyways, or obviously I don't mean it literally, but if you're gonna try to put this like web out there where you're taking money from Zionists through Israel and not declaring yourself as FARA, then you have a problem, and then we should have a problem. And Israel should be declared as a foreign, entity and should be under FARA.
If you guys haven't seen this yet, I built this site called AmericansForTransparency.org. And the X account is AFNPT.org. But this shows, at least on behalf of Boston, the Hasbara budget for 2025. This is actually from last year, but they're still acting on this budget. And it shows on the website how the money flows from Boston Ministry of Foreign Affairs as foreign aid into 3 companies that take the money, almost $1 billion now. And then they pay American LLCs, and these American LLCs do the propaganda. All right, so it's legal to spread propaganda in the United States. Show Faith by Works is one major one that's doing the geofencing. If you go to AmericansForTransparency.org, you can talk to the AI agent. You can discuss all the stuff regarding any of the FARA filings. You can go and see if you're going to church. You can go and see if any of the FARA filings has your church listed as a targeted church. This is also important. So make sure you go and know what's happening in your church. Talk to your pastor. There's almost 3 million people being geofenced and tagged every single week. And that's just what's documented legally. And it's over these states. There's 7 states here. So definitely go to AmericansForTransparency.org. I get no money from people going to this site. It's only to make sure that people know what's happening in this country. There's tons of investigations here. There's maps. There's documents. There's FARA filings. All of this has every FARA filing attached to it. You can literally pull up the FARA documentation, and they're all here. Okay, so by all means, go and check it out.
Educate yourself, guys.
To educate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. So with that being said, we just got one more membership. Thank you for joining, and we appreciate everyone for being here. So yeah, that's it. Any last words?
Yes, let's tell Gary that we don't hate him. We don't, we are not mad at him for just because he's Gary and a person. Just do what you say you are. Be a man. Be an honorable man, and then we are on board, bro. Then I can shake your hand.
Real quick, I just want to let everybody know I will be doing members only live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time. It will be a Q&A. And like I always say, it is, my platform is not an echo chamber. So even if you disagreed with anything said, you want to get your voice said, doors are open. You're welcome. I also want to let everybody know that tomorrow night I will be going live with Christine Fecketti. and that should be a really good show. And then Thursday, I will be live with Kevin from Webb. And of course, don't forget to catch me and Danks Saturday night. I know, Danks, you have your members only live Saturday afternoon, and then 10 p.m. Saturday night. Me and Danks will be live. And Elizabeth, you and me will definitely be in touch. And I know that we're going to be planning something in the near future as well.
Absolutely. I have a question for you guys before we go. So I was planning to have Tucker Carlson's brother Buckley tomorrow. So we are set. But I haven't decided, do you want that to be live? And if so, could you, thanks, can you bring up chat? I want to see like how many people want it. And if it's
Could
like
do a poll. What do you, Buck Tucker's brother?
yeah, Buckley Carlson.
Yeah, of course
And-
they would want it to be live. Yeah,
'Cause
everyone.
they-
I would.
Questions, right?
Yeah, because they can throw super chat. 100%. I don't even have to do a poll. I know that they would. Excuse me. That they would want to do it live. Yeah, you should do that live. If Buckley will do it. Yeah.
All right, so it's gonna be more evening time, I believe. So I'll let you know, guys, in a post on YouTube, so you can go on my YouTube and check the post section, and I will put out the time and I'll make it alive, so you guys can ask him whatever you want.
Sounds
Okay.
good. That
Thank you,
looks
guys.
good. This just Jay Studnuts is Lizzie Lane's future husband. Can we get his should we let's go to Jay Studnut youtube.com. We're gonna maybe find you
Unfortunately, Lizzie Lane is taken.
find her a husband in the
Unfortunately.
chat. Here we go.
And,
I got him
Yeah,
blown up.
by
over
somebody who's always looking out.
here.
So
Here we go.
I'm sure she's
always
very
looking
flattered,
out.
though.
I'm
always looking
flattered.
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's a
love him.
handsome guy, bro.
You're
He's
a
like he
very
looks like
handsome dude.
Jim
I will
Tan
say that.
Laundry up in here, bro.
You're a
Come
very
on now.
handsome guy for sure.
GTL, baby. All right, everyone. Thanks. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it. And yeah, tune in soon. I'll be releasing another episode tomorrow, and we'll see you guys later this week. Join clubvatra.com if you want to get in on the inner circle of our conversations, our research. We do weekly debates in my group. Join the investigator tier, which is $10 if you want to join the weekly conversation in the Discord on clubvatra.com. Real Bayes is there as well. Jesse on Fire, and many others. So yeah, new startup company. I'm looking forward to growing with the crew. Thanks again. We'll see you guys this week, Saturday morning, night,
Thank you.
and Elizabeth tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Peace.